Today on Pots and Trowels I'm going to prick out these onion seedlings, and that's brought to you with the support of Allett and Cobra Garden. Hello and welcome to Pots and Trowels. Well, today I'm going to be doing a little bit of pricking out, that's transplanting seedlings into larger containers to grow on. And if you were watching a few weeks ago, and it's still there of course to watch on YouTube if you want to, then I was sowing onion seeds, and these are mammoth onions from the Robinson family up there in Lancashire, and these make great big wonderful onions out in the garden. So we've sown them early, and as you can see we've got some strong seedlings here. These have been sown in a little propagator on a window ledge because they needed that extra warmth, and they're now at the stage where they need transplanting. They're actually starting just to get a little bit drawn. It's one of the problems if you're growing on windowsills, they're drawn towards the light, so you do need to keep turning them so they don't lean one way for too long, and make sure they get as much natural light as possible. So before these get leggy, I want to transplant them, and I'm going to show you how to do that. To do that though, we need compost. So I've got a multi-purpose compost here. This is a nice fine multi-purpose compost straight out the bag. And what I'm going to do is just make sure that any lumps in there are broken up. Sometimes it can be a bit lumpy when you open a bag of compost. So it's just to make sure it's nice and fine and will filter around the roots. And then we need a container to put them in. Now, various things. I like to grow them rather than just in an ordinary seed tray. I like to grow them in compartments or cell trays like this, so that it means that when these are going to be planted out into the garden, usually around April time when they're nice strong plants, I can pop them out and get a good root ball there. There's going to be no root disturbance. So these are some plastic 12-pack trays I've had for a while now, and I just keep washing them and using them again and again. Or if you don't want to use those, then these little individual pots, these are some fibre pots. These are perfect, and you know, roughly the same volume of compost, to be fair. And you could put one seedling into each of these, and the good thing is when we plant them out, we don't take the plant out of this pot, we plant the whole thing into the garden, and this will then disintegrate and rot away through the season. But I'm going to do these into these trays. The procedure is exactly the same. So what we need to do is to get our tray, get our compost and fill it. Now with any tray like this, we want it to be full, so what I like to do is overfill it, just rub it around a little bit with my hand to get it fairly level, give it a tap so it settles it, and you can see there it's now level to the pot, and every plant is going to have the same volume of compost to grow. So it is important that you do that. We want them to grow evenly like so. And then we've got our seedlings here, and this is at the stage we would do them. It's just where you've got the seed there. If you look closer, you can just see that is the original seed on the end of the seedling just there. So that's a good sign, that is. And I'm going to use my dibber, and I'm just going to, rather than pull them out, I'm just going to loosen the compost a little around them. And we always handle any seedling by the leaf, but this is all leaf on this, but gentle is how we do it, very gently. And I'm just going to loosen that, and we can see that that pulls out there, and we've got a nice root. And we want to put this into the compost so that this point here is going to be below soil, and then the stem and the leaves are above. So using the dibber, I'm just going to make a hole, and then I'm going to lower that in to roughly the height that I want, and then just very gently firm it down and just give it a gentle firm. We want it to stand as upright as possible. So another one in there, and it's then just simply a case of working our way through very carefully, taking them out, just loosening the roots. Some have a bit more than others. They're just starting to make good root now. And this is the stage we want to do it before they have too large a root, because if it's got a large root on it, it means that one's only just rooted a little bit, but it'll be absolutely fine. If we let the roots get too large, it sets them back a little bit, and it takes them longer to settle in and establish. So I'm just going to quite happily just prick these out, and then I'll tell you what to do with them. So there we go, the last one in, nicely firm, all standing fairly upright. So a nice little tap just to settle the compost around them. And then what I'm going to do with these is just give them a gentle water. So I'm going to use the watering can or a mister and just very gently water them in so the water can seep down to there. Now these now need to be grown again somewhere frost free, but it needs to have very good light. So again, a bright windowsill is okay. I'm actually going to put these into my greenhouse now. I keep it just frost free and I think it's going to be fine. If the weather turns very cold, I can always bring them in at night and take them back in the day, because if we keep them just slightly cooler and not too warm, it won't encourage that fast lush growth which will make them floppy. We want them now to be strong and sturdy seedlings and to make a really good strong root system. So it's just a case of keeping your eye on them, never let them completely dry out, but I won't water them again until they just start to dry out a little bit, because that encourages the roots to go down in search of water. So if you've got some onion seedlings, get them pricked out, get them growing on, and then what we'll do is come back to these again in April time and I'll show you how we plant them out into the garden. Thank you for watching, and remember you can see all of our videos that we've done on YouTube. So just search Pots and Trowels on YouTube and enjoy watching them. Next week we're going to be looking at soft root bushes, giving you some planting and pruning tips. So we'll see you then. Bye.